Good morning, children. Saira, welcome back to our science class. And today we are going to continue our chapter number 4, sorting materials into groups. And we'll also do the revision of this chapter. Now, let us learn first what are soluble or insoluble. So what we are going to learn? We are going to learn what are called soluble and insoluble. Soluble means anything which dissolves in water, and insoluble means that does not dissolve in water. So for soluble, we can take the example of sugar and salt. And insoluble, we can take the example of any solid items like pencil or stone or key, any solid items, right? So now what we are going to do is, you will do an activity at home. So can you see the beaker that is you can see on the screen? So you will take the glass, 2 glasses you will take, and you are going to collect the samples of solid substances like sugar. So you will take little sugar in a small bowl, and salt, chalk powder, sand and sawdust. So you will take sugar, salt, chalk powder and sawdust, and you will take 2 glasses, and you will add the water. Now fill each one of them about 2/3 with water. So you will pour some water in the glass of 2/3. Now you will add a small amount of sugar. Take a spoon and add little sugar to the first glass and salt to the second, and similarly. Now add small amounts of other substances into other glasses. Now stir the contents. Stir means mix up. So you will keep mixing, stirring each one of them with a spoon. And now you are going to wait for a few minutes. Now observe what happens to the substances added to water. Yes, it dissolves in the water. So it disappears, right? So mixing substances like salt, sugar disappears completely in water. Sand, sawdust, it does not disappear. So you will notice that some substances have completely disappeared or dissolved in water. We say that these substances are called soluble in water. Other substances which do not mix with water and do not disappear even after we stir, it is called insoluble in water. So here you can see in the screen. So when we add some substance like water, liquid substance, that will come to you later on. Now we have just added salt and sugar. Now water plays an important role in the functioning of our body because it can dissolve a large number of substances, right? Now you are going to collect the substances like some alcohol and oil. So the substances like vinegar, lemon juice, mustard oil, coconut oil and kerosene or any other liquid. So take a glass tumbler now, again fill the water and let it stand for 5 minutes. So you are going to add a spoonful of all these things. That is coconut oil, lemon juice. Take any one oil. So coconut oil, or you must be seen in the kitchen room what mom is using, any refined oil. So you will take little oil and lemon juice. You will have it at home. So you can take lemon juice and any one type of oil. Now add it in that glasses. So one glass you will add the oil and another glass you will add the lemon juice. So observe the liquid mixes with water. So which liquid mixes with water? Yes, lemon juice get mixed with water. Lemon juice get mixed with water and oil does not get mixed with water. It floats in the water. So water plus alcohol is equal to soluble substance. The liquid which gets dissolves in water is called soluble, and water plus oil is insoluble because it floats in water. It does not dissolve in water. So you can do this activity by adding some vinegar and you can find out whether it is soluble or insoluble. So vinegar, if you add in the water, it gets diluted. It is soluble. It disappears. So it is soluble in water. Now we notice that some liquids gets completely mixed with water. Some others do not mix with water and form a separate layer like this. So they form a separate layer on the top of the water, which when kept aside for some time. So children, some gases. So some gases are also soluble in water. So how do we know this? Because in the water there are many living things like plants and some living creatures. So since some gases are soluble in water, like oxygen is a gas that dissolved in water, which is very important for breathing, for the survival of many animals and plants. So children, water usually has small quantities of some gases dissolved in it. So for example, oxygen gas. So in the exam, if they ask name a gas that dissolves in water, so you will choose the answer oxygen gas, right? So it is important for the survival of plants and animals. And next we'll learn about, so here I've shown you water plus salt, which is soluble in water, and water plus sand, which does not dissolve, that is called insoluble in water. Now let's learn about objects that float or sink in water. So what is called floating? When you drop something in water, it does not drown in the water. It just floats in the water. That is called floating. And if it drowns, it is called sink. So some substances that float in water and some sink right at the bottom. So objects which are heavier than water sink, whereas objects which are lighter than water floats. So we can do this float or sink activity. Already you might have done in your previous classes. To do this experiment of float or sink, we required, you must have seen some is if you have a fish tank or if you go to any pond, if when you throw the stone, it just sinks. Or when you do the paper boat and leave, it just floats. And if you want to do it at home, you can take a glass and add some water. So you will have to collect some objects. So you must have noticed that previous experiment which is not insoluble in water. So insoluble solids are separated out from water. And some of these materials, some materials also does not mix with water. And some have drowned, must have sunk in the water. They must have sunk in the bottom of the tumbler like sand. So when you add sand, it gets sunk in the water. So now you will collect the things like dried leaves, yes, some wooden piece or iron like key or some pebbles, and you can just add it in this glass of water and see and what happens. So when leaves fall from a tree on the pond water, they float. A paper boat, thin twigs, etc. are light and they float on water. This all you must have observed. So pieces of stone, heavy bricks, etc. sink in water. So when you add the drop of honey, you just add the drop of honey in water and observe what happens. Does it dissolves or just settles in water? Now let us understand why sorting and grouping materials are important. Now, the whole lesson we learned about the sorting and grouping. So, why it is important? Now, what is called sorting or grouping? So, we have classified so many things. The process of classification of objects based on some known criteria is called grouping or sorting. That is glass items, leather items, fabric items, so many things we learn. So that is called grouping or sorting. So why are we sorting materials into various groups? So is it necessary? Yes, it is very necessary. When you go to a big mall or any shop, you must have observed that all the cold drink items in one place, all the vegetables, fruits in one place, and all the snacks items in one place. So they must have segregated like this. So why? Because placing similar things together is called grouping. So in your home also, so where do you keep your books? So do you keep your one book in the kitchen and one book in the bathroom? No, we all keep it in one place in a bookshelf. So similarly, you must have observed in the kitchen also, your mom must have arranged all the similar items, all masala items, all the plates, all the spoons, all the cups. So we are arranging according to the things that is we are placing the similar things together. So that is called grouping. It is because the objects that are stored and categorized into different sections according to their types. So we categorize into different sections according to their types. So such organization convenient and leads to better management. So in the shop they do because we can easily select the things and for the better management. So, so sorting objects according to raw materials. So like plastic items, melamine items and wood items. So these all we sorted. And sorting objects according to the shapes. So triangular shape, cone shape, round shape, cylindrical shape. So why do we need to group materials? So in everyday life, we often group materials for our convenience. For our convenience. So such an arrangement help us to locate them easily. Okay. And in a grocery shop also, they keep usually all types of biscuits at one corner, so many things as we saw now. And there is another reason why we find such grouping are useful. So dividing materials into groups makes it convenient to study their properties and also observe any patterns in these properties. So here we have cubical shapes, spherical shapes, so paper, things made out of paper, things made of leather. So sorting objects according to the states. So solid states, liquid states, gaseous states. So we all learned so many things about the states. So here what we learned now is sorting materials on the basics of their shape, sorting materials on the basic of their shape, sorting materials on the basic of raw materials that is used. And why do we sort? It allows us to study the property of materials, to locate the materials easily, and helps us to observe the patterns in their behaviors. Now let's summarize. So children, what we learned from the whole lesson is objects around us are in different shapes, colors and state, and different materials we can see around us. Objects can be classified on the basis of their shapes and color. Another basic for classification is the raw materials to create objects. Sorting objects allows us to locate them easily. Sorting objects allows us to learn their properties. We also learnt that objects around us are made up of large variety of materials, and a given material should be used to make large number of objects. It is also possible that an object could be made of a single material or of many different types of materials, and different types of materials have different properties, and some materials are shiny in appearance while others are not. Some are rough, some are smooth. Similarly, some materials are hard and whereas some are soft. And some materials are soluble in water and some materials are insoluble in water. And some materials such as gases that are transparent and some others such as wood and metals are opaque. So we have learned so many properties. Some materials are translucent. So materials are grouped together on the basis of similarities and differences in their properties. So things are grouped together for our convenience and to study their properties. Now we will study more about this in the higher classes. Now let's just do a small activity, that is true or false. Now the first question is, stone is transparent while glass is opaque. So is it true or false? Is the stone is transparent? So if you keep a stone from here, can you see the other side? No. So the answer is false. Number 2, a notebook has luster while eraser does not. So think of the answer. Number 3, chalk dissolves in water. So luster means shiny. Is the notebook a shiny material? No. So eraser? No. So it is false. Chalk dissolves in water. Does the chalk dissolve in water? No, it just absorbs the water and just it sets at the bottom of the water. So it is false. A piece of wood floats on water. It is true. Sugar does not dissolve in water. It is false. So children, in your exam, online exam, same pattern of questions will be asked. Either maybe true or false, or just click the right answer. Oil mixes with water. It's false. Sand settles down in water. It's true. Vinegar dissolves in water. Yes. So, thank you, children. So, for your exam, we'll be having same sort of questions. So, it will be very easy. So, learn the assignments which I have given also, and the notes will be reaching you soon. So, learn that also and prepare for your exam. Until then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you, children. Bye bye.